Hey y'all, listen. We are here with another episode of Indie Talks. I am one of your hosts, Ashlee Redway, and of course, my beautiful co-host Danielle could not be with us tonight, unfortunately. Miss her, but she's here in spirit, okay? So tonight we have, let me tell you, I love our Thursday Indie Talks because it's just so exciting, so full of energy. And tonight, okay, we have a very, very talented Black man. That's here. All right. And I mean, you're so multifaceted. You wear so many different hats, from acting to being the having film and being an entrepreneur. And then now to add to the plate music. All right. So
Yes,
we want to welcome you, Mr. Omar Cook.
absolutely. Hey, thank you for having me on the platform. I'm just so honored to be able to talk with you guys. I think your platform is dope and it's dope to connect.
Thank you so much. So I told you I've got a story for you, right? I got a little funny something. So I was
Okay.
just like, okay, so I'm looking, I was like, you know what? I said one thing about me, I'm bad with names, but I do not forget a face.
Yeah.
So I was just like, he looks so familiar. Like I can't put two and two together, but I said it's gonna come together.
Right.
Grammy weekend, I believe 2023.
Wow.
Danielle and I got to interview you during an event, a red carpet event. Yes. You had the waves, the red shirt rolling, everything. So, and I was like, damn, I said, I remember now. And I pulled up, we even have footage,
Okay,
which I'm going
wow.
to edit into our video for our
Yeah.
promo.
Yeah.
So I got you. But yes, it's good. It was really quick because it was moving
Right.
fast.
Right,
So
right, right.
we got you. We definitely spoke with you.
Hey, that's dope. I mean, it's not a big circle of entertainment industry, really. It's very, very small. So, of course, we probably really did run into each other, and I look forward to seeing the clips.
Yes,
That's
I
dope.
got you. So let's literally jump into this. That's why I'm so hyped. Now, one thing about you in particular, I think like for a lot of creatives or artists, don't we initially kind of find our avenues in different ways, right? And that doesn't mean that we initially start on that avenue what we're in at this present time. So you,
Yeah,
on the other hand, you came from football,
I did.
you and being on the field, and now to film. Kind of talk about that. What really sparked that switch for you?
Yeah. So I started my football career at Southern University in Louisiana. Uh, I loved going to an HBC when playing in front of my people.
Yes.
I then transitioned to play arena football for about 4 seasons, playing in Montana, Nebraska, San Diego, among places, and those are dope opportunities. And I got an opportunity to work on the Madden video game 2016. My football agent at the time shot me a random email, and it was an email about a tryout about the Madden video game at USC. I got the email maybe an hour before the workout, and it was an hour away from me at the time. So I really only had a few seconds to decide really if I was going to go. I really wasn't trying to get in the industry like that. I really was focused on football and coaching football
Hmm.
at the time. And so I went to the workout, uh, did it 3 weeks later. I got picked to be on the Madden team.
Wow.
And then they ended up flying me out to Vancouver, Canada to shoot the game, where I worked as a motion capture actor doing the movements for the game, defensive back moves, a lot of the defensive moves for the game. So I had an opportunity to join that, and that lasted me 7 games.
Mm,
So I got to work on 7 games.
amazing.
You know, so that kind of sparked my interest into the industry, and I started to do more stunts with several different Hollywood football shows, including Ballers on HBO,
Yes.
Colin in Black and White, which is on Netflix, and All American, which was really my biggest opportunity to get into the industry. And once I started getting those, I've just fully transitioned from football to the industry.
Yes. And when was that? Even though you had these opportunities, when did it like just spiritually just couldn't like gave you that aha moment? Like this is my calling. Like no hands about it. Regardless of where I came from, I'm gonna still just pursue this. Go just move forward in this.
Yeah, that moment came about 2020 during the pandemic. I was actually so I was kind of transitioning 2019 through before that pandemic time from football to acting, but I was still um, signed to play football. So I had signed to go play with a team in Iowa called Quad Cities, and I went out there a week before the pandemic, and obviously the world ended up shutting down. You know what I
Ugh.
mean? Right. So once the NBA shut down, I had to come back home. So I got an opportunity to work on 2019, I started to work on a lot of background, just background shows, getting my feet wet, working on a few short films, whatever. And I got an opportunity to get on Snowfall, episode 1 for season 4. And I was one of Scully's gunmen, working with DeAndre Bonds on there, right? And so they asked me to come back and be like one of his gunmen throughout the series for the episodes, but I couldn't do it because football season was at the same time. So I chose the football route. I went out there and the world shut down. I came home and I already made up my mind that this was going to be my last season playing football and I was going to retire after the season. So
Hmm.
the pandemic just kind of made the decision for me. And I made a clean cut decision to focus on acting. Actually got signed to a manager and a commercial agent during the pandemic at home. So that's when I really started to take it serious, and I just said, all right, I'm gonna just work on my craft during the pandemic. I got in classes during the pandemic. I took virtual classes, so once the pandemic kind of was over, I was already kind of prepared to, take the next steps.
Look at that. You was ready. I love it. I love it.
For sure,
Listen, what they say, you know,
and stay ready.
stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. All right. I love that. And one thing what I love about this is that, being in sports, one thing about it is about discipline. Kind of talk about how actually being athletic kind of help you in being creative in whether if it's acting, whether if it's just working with other creatives as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've grown up playing sports my entire life, so I had the idea in my mind that I can achieve anything through hard work and practicing my craft. So it gave me a lot of confidence early. I experienced a lot of success early as a kid, playing on successful teams, uh, playing under successful coaches who really instilled hard work and ethic and confidence in myself and my abilities. So that just carried me out really through my lifetime. And going into the entertainment industry, it really just gave me the confidence to step into different realms. When you're an entertainer, you're really on full display. You're
Hmm.
vulnerable, so you have to be really more of your authentic self. Uh, in front of the world. So it gave me the confidence to really fully be myself and not really worry about the outside perspectives in the world. I've played in front of stadiums and arenas of people, crowds and away crowds who don't like you, screaming all type of names and whatnot. So, I mean, stepping into a realm where the public eye is on you, I mean, I've been able to handle it a lot more easier. My mindset is very confident to be able to handle a lot of the rejections and no's that come with the entertainment industry. And I really don't get caught up in the facade of Hollywood. I really just focus on me. And I think sports really played a key role in shaping my mindset and who I am.
I love that. I love that because yes, you have to be vulnerable, and also that's definitely one thing I wanted to kind of focus on as well, in the sense of when it comes to the music, because I think like when you have to be a this model in this industry on film, and then like you said, you're on display and you can't fully react to certain things, but then in music it's just like it can be an outlet. You can display, you can put whatever feeling, emotion that you may have into this, but also um the challenge of being able to express yourself, right? I want to kind of talk about that before we get into I want to get into the difference of when it comes to acting and when it also comes to working on the music, the challenges when it comes to being vulnerable and expressing your emotions. Because sometimes, especially with this being a new realm of for you as well, like you may say like, oh my goodness, I can do this in acting and it's easy
Right,
because
right,
I've
right,
done
right.
this.
Absolutely.
So kind of talk about that transition.
Yeah. Being vulnerable on camera for me was very difficult at first. You know, coming from a football background, we're taught to be very tough and kind of fight through pain and not really show too much emotion. That type of deal is really alpha male type of energy that you
Mm-hmm.
operate in full time. So you really learn to block out a lot of emotions that don't really serve you in the field, right? Well, acting and entertainment is a lot different. You really have to feel those emotions and really embody those. So I ended up having to take a class where I had to learn how to tap into my emotions. I took a class with all women, and it was interesting. Right. It was interesting because women
We
are
that
very
emotional?
right, right,
I'm just
right.
saying.
Right. Right. So in that class, I learned that there was a lot of traumas that people were holding on to from so way back when. I I learned that I didn't hold on to those things as other people did. They were able to go into different moments in their lifetime when they were like five that hurt them and be able
Mm.
to tap in. Whereas me personally, I don't be sweating stuff that happened yesterday. That's just how I operate. But so I really had to learn how to like operate in a way that I can go back into ways that used to hurt me, but utilize that from my role and be able to display it on camera. When I took that class, man, I learned to cry. You know what I'm saying, on
I was
camera.
gonna say, did they teach you how to
Right?
do the how you get to
Absolutely,
like
man.
with cry on site?
Right. It transformed my game. I really was able to start playing different roles and become a different actor. I think for you to be showing real emotions and really show a real character, you really have to tap into those emotions that character is embodying. It takes a lot of energy out of you. It's real. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Mhm.
faking real vulnerability on camera. So it's really being able to one tap in and be able to tap back out and be able to ground myself outside the role when I come back out of character.
And that's funny you were saying, like, I'm sorry, this is kind of a little bit of a plug in here. Like when you saying like tap in and tap out, because I've heard, because even I'm his name is slipping me, from Snowfall,
Okay.
main actor, he kind of talked about in previous interviews
Dancing.
when the show was ending and certain things like that, like to be able to, because you really feel these characters, you really be in the moment,
That's right.
and to be able to come out. So what are some things that or just that you as a man just be able to have center yourself, right, to be able to have mental clarity, because
Yeah.
I think that's very important, especially for Black men, to be able to understand themselves and be able to have that time to be able to reset.
Yeah, absolutely. I pray a lot. So
Amen.
I'm really that's really huge, what I mean, for me, to make sure I'm protected mentally, spiritually, physically, that type of deal. So, I pray before I take any role, before I even recite lines on the role, you know what I'm saying? Any of that. So I just make sure I'm really spiritually grounded in what I'm pursuing. Because some of these roles, they're in movies that they have good messages, but sometimes you play bad characters. So
Mhm.
I get a lot of villain roles, fortunately.
I see the few. I see the few. I'm just
Right,
saying.
right, right.
I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
Right. Somebody got to be the bad guy, right? So, I mean, I like to play a mix of it, but especially when you're playing like roles like that, I have to like kind of create justifications for myself for why I'm doing certain actions. So it's really even understanding your dark side, you know what I'm saying, and understanding why darker characters would do certain things and have an
Mhm.
understanding for humans. So it almost kind of makes you have a more understanding on a global scale of how humans operate, whether it's good or bad, and why they make certain decisions. So I've had I feel like I've gone through more of a spiritual awakening through my entertainment journey because it's helping me tap into myself and really help myself align with my energy and be able to control my energy, fully.
I love that. I love that. Once again, going back to you wearing multiple hats, you not only, like you just explained, your acting role, you've written, you've also directed, right? And then we're going to get into your entrepreneur hat in a second as well. Kind of talk about being able to wear those multiple hats, and if you really had to choose one hat to wear, which would that be?
Man, ask this question, and I really don't be knowing because it's like day to day for me. Like one day I wake up, I'll be like, oh, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? I really want to focus on this today. I really want to do this. So I like to joke like I don't know who I'm going to be in 5 years. You know what I mean? Because I didn't even picture a music project coming out. So it's just things that come up with me that I just feel inspired by. That's really how I operate. I just go off inspiration, what I'm inspired to do, and what makes sense, as far as what I can actually create and put out there. And I try to operate like out of like a childlike energy, you know what I'm saying, where it's just playful for me. I really turn this earth into my playground. I don't really worry about like the results, who watches, who listens, that type of stuff. I mean, obviously you want that, but I really try to create from an authentic space, and it's really more accomplishments for me. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, I was doing this as a way to express myself, but also to say that I can do certain things, like to prove yourself. Because once you get into a motion of showing yourself that you can do certain things, it becomes like it's a wave. It just doesn't
I
stop.
hear you.
But I
I
really
hear you.
like I really do like directing. I like to see the vision come together. But I also like acting, as well. I love playing different characters. So I mean, I guess it's just a mix between there. But at the same time, I love business. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying. I'm a competitor, so business brings a competitive edge to you, to where you got to make sales, you got to make income, whatever. So I like that aspect of it, where I'm really just more so competing against myself to be a better version each day. And then running business, I think it's really the true test of God. You know what I'm saying? Because it's faith. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Everything
yeah.
is faith based every day. You don't know much money you're gonna make. You don't know how many views you're gonna get. You don't know all that. I mean, you can project, but you literally don't know day to day, right? So it's really standing in faith and standing on 10 toes about who you are. And I really enjoy that aspect. I love challenges, and I always rise up to it. So that's what excites me.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, because the one thing that I've so not to go off track, but to go off track in a bit. So like I am very faith based. I love God. He has blessed me. He brought me through some things. Listen, got you. We here. All right.
Right.
One thing, like I'm studying the book of Proverbs when we talk about wisdom, when we're talking about faith, right?
Yeah.
There has been like the subject line for the past couple of weeks. I'm like, God, I hear you. I know you trying to, I see you say something, right? And the one thing about it, like you said, like being an entrepreneur and just really being focused in business, you don't know. Like right now, we don't have the views, but there's some days we got 20. There's some days we got
Right.
100. There's some
Right.
days we, so,
Right.
and it's just like, when you take that out your mind and just be like, okay, the purpose of why I'm here and what I'm doing is all that matters, it
Absolutely.
just takes away everything else. And it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I know this is something I want to do. So I am so glad. That's confirmation when you said that. Okay.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Before we get, once again, you not only in filming, you have won 31 international awards just for who your name alone in regards to the film world. Talk about how that defines you in success, or how you define success in the sense of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the awards are a testament to one, my overall team, man. I'm nothing without my team. Shout out to my business partner, Adonis Armstrong, who also co-directs with me on some of these projects as well. We've been a very, very great tandem, and been able to create some dope projects. And also, I have a team behind 24/7 Live Coaching that works with me to do day-to-days and helps me operate. So, I'm never alone, but I'm very thankful. You know what I'm saying? So, I think with awards for me, I won a lot of awards in life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's from championships to sports, I'm heavily accoladed, so I don't really like uh, focus on the award aspect of it. I just focus on the product of it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of already know, like, when I focus on the actual product, I'm gonna win. So whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? So I just already have that in me. You know what I mean? I think there's this saying that winners win and losers lose, and that's real. It's a mindset. It's really more of a declaration for yourself. I'm winning at everything I do, and you'll attract that. So I think when we first,
Better affirm yourself and manifest. I love it.
you have to, because if you don't believe it, it's not going to come. Everything is a belief. There's no luck. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Right.
random. I think when we started to submit to film festivals, we weren't necessarily intending to try to win festivals. We didn't even really understand the full process of film festivals. We were just submitting, just doing stuff, right? As a first time filmmakers. And when we started to see the wins roll in, I said, okay, it's starting.
Like something's good.
Yeah, we can
Giving.
see it. The wins. I would say when we started to get wins on our first film, which was Scandalous. You guys can watch that on YouTube. Uh, that film really pushed us to do the next one, which was Deadly Thoughts, which is also on YouTube. And both of those films, Scandalous involved the themes of domestic violence and relationships, and Deadly Thoughts involved the same thing, but suicidal um, aspects of it as well.
Oh my God.
So just
Have you watched The Woman in the Yard?
I haven't seen The Woman of the Yard yet, but I've
Okay.
heard of it. I have a lot of shows to catch up. I've been so busy.
Got
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
I figured because
Yeah.
it's like I hardly watch TV, so I know
Right,
you ain't
right.
watching TV.
Yeah, but I definitely think awards are big for your name and brand. I mean, obviously, people will gravitate towards that, and I'm very thankful. I don't try to let it get to our head or anything, but we're very grateful. Obviously, God has allowed us to obtain those, and whatever else He'll allow us to do, we want to do it on a bigger scale. Oscars and WCPs, and really use that as a source of inspiration. That's really what I look at as awards, as more of inspiration. Like you can do it too. I'm no better than anyone. I'm just someone that just went and did it. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you just inspired and you take it from here and you put it out here. That's all that matters.
Right.
And I know you mentioned about your empire that you have 247 Life Culture as well. I
Yeah.
want you to kind of talk about that quickly because I'm excited to get into this EP. I want you to talk about because let me tell you, you have the podcasting network, you have the PR, you have the film production. This is all like the one-stop shop in the sense of everything. I want you to kind of dive into that a little bit
Yeah.
too.
24/7 Live Culture came about 2018. I was writing for multiple publications at the time. Um, I was writing for a platform called thefanshow.com. I was writing for a platform called Primetime Sports America or Primetime Sports Talk, and then Barber's Chair Digital. I was writing NFL news. That's really where my focus was. And as I was writing during that time period, the Colin Kaepernick incidents were going on where he was taking a
Yeah.
knee and whatnot. So those were, obviously a lot of articles that I was publishing, right? So I started to see a lot of backlash through, not that I cared what I was writing about, but just starting to see it, and how people were reacting to it, right? It really just kind of opened my mind up to, I wanted to do something that was bigger than just sports in Black culture. I'm a really big music fan. I never was making music at the time, but I was a music fan growing up with Dat Piff and LimeWire. I always used to try to find the dopest artists that nobody knew about, type of deal. So when I started to think about what type of platform I wanted to create, I really wanted to incorporate something that pushed Black culture in a positive way, and also incorporated music, sports, and just overall lifestyle. So I looked at lists like that were being put out, like XXL,
Yeah.
Freshman of the Year. And they had some dope lists, early on, and I think over time, uh, the quality of the artists weren't really up to the par that I wanted to see. So
We
it was
started getting these
very
TikTok artists.
correct, right?
Just gonna say it.
I started. I want to say it was 2017, like December. I reached out to all the publications I was working for, and I just let them know, I'm resigning. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be doing my own thing. I didn't have a plan. I didn't even know the name of the brand I was gonna do, and I didn't even know how to build websites. So I just took the leap of faith and just left. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. God nudged me, so I just ran with it. January was when I sat down and really thought of the name, and I bought the domain, and the rest was there. I really built it from a lot of YouTube university. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to
Very
manage
popular.
websites.
Very popular during COVID.
It took a lot of failure, man. I wouldn't say I failed, but like I learned a lot through a lot of trial and error. Um, I built when I first built the website, I did it wrong. So after like 3 months, I had to go and redo the whole thing, right? Then I lost. I started a Twitter at first. It was called 24/7 Live Culture, and it got took down. I got a copyright violation for posting music videos. I was doing like a top 5 music videos of the week type list, right?
Gotcha.
I was
Okay.
posting clips
Yeah,
and
that's when they started coming in to hit
right.
you with the copyrights. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I originally lost the 24/7 Live Coaching name, never got it back to the day on Twitter, right? So I had to start over and get a 20, and we started 24/7 LC, which was the news Twitter. I actually built that one up to like 14K. It was doing very well. It was getting millions of impressions monthly, and then that got to, you know what I'm saying? Right.
Oh,
So
they was really hating.
yeah,
Good for
they got
you.
me. Oh yeah, nah, there's a lot of people that there's a lot of the platform's definitely been targeted, multiple times, and I understand because it comes with it, right?
Right.
Positive black platforms, it is what it is. So I'm no fool, right? That happened, and it took it for like 8 months. And I tried to appeal it, but not. So that was honestly like a devastating time for me mentally because that was a lot of traffic that we were getting for the platform, and I really took a step back and started focusing on the film side. And eventually, when I got that back, was when I was able to kind of step back into the realm of growing the business the way I wanted to. I originally started it off with just blogs, articles. Uh, I initially recruited a team of writers through Twitter. I went through a database of different writers that were on there, reached out to them all individually through DMs, whatnot, and said, hey, I'm starting this platform, boom, boom, boom. You guys want to be a part of it? You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see you guys want to contribute
Like
some
shoot
articles.
your shot.
Right.
Right.
And several people got back to me. I built an initial team from the jump, and it started, doing what it was supposed to. And the different aspects started coming. Uh, I didn't start it as one. I wanted to be entertainment as far as film, acting, none of that. 'Cause I wasn't even really doing all that at that time. Those aspects came as I grew within myself. So once I decided to write films and direct and whatnot. Uh, my business partner, Donis Armstrong, came on, and we decided to therefore establish the 24/7 OC Films Department, which have grown into obviously 30 awards and different films and whatnot. And it started off our iPhone. We shot our first few short films off the iPhone, and now we got a team and productions and whatnot. So it's grown. The music aspect came from, as far as PR, we built so many relationships through artists. We've interviewed hundreds of artists from all around the world on the site, trying to find the most authentic voices, black voices in the world. And we've interviewed people from Africa, from London, a lot of UK presence, and a lot of people around this country as well. So many dope people. So the connections that we built, we were able to kind of leverage that into, hey, we can represent you on the PR side to be able to get your image out there, get you some blog coverage. We built up a database of black media and entertainment. Obviously, like I'm talking to you, you're
Right.
part of our database. You
Listen,
know what I'm
put
saying? So
us on the database. We here.
right. Shout out to our public relations, Bianca Maria, who obviously
Yes.
scheduled these interviews.
Wonderful.
She's dope. She came on to work for me as an intern in college, and she stayed on ever since. And now she's doing public relations for us and making connections with different media publications, working with our artists that's on the brand, and really doing a great job on day to day. So it's really been a journey, man. And I'm just very thankful. Every day is something new. Now I'm really focused on uh, building an online presence to a community presence. So we started the Lambert Park Music Series out here this year, which is a music showcase that's in the legendary community of Lambert Park here, which is so big for Black culture and arts here. We partnered with a performing arts center called the World Stage, which has been here for about 30 years. It was started by some jazz musicians out here as well. So it has a big cultural presence. So to be able to lock in with them was dope. The goal was to create something that was like a Black Tiny Test vibe, an intimate setting. So we just had our third showcase on Monday. We were bringing on about 4 to 5 artists to perform in the hip hop, R&B, spoken word phase here, and we're going to continue to do this every month at the end of each month on Monday nights. It's once a month. here. So that's something that we're really growing. We eventually want to do some more events. Last year, we got into the space of politics as well. So we were able to create a forum called the Future Leaders of America Forum, where we hooked up with actor Kareem Grimes, who's also an American. He came through to speak in the Los Angeles community in the Mert Park. And we had just a good discussion with our community about how we can really get involved with our social justice issues, how we can use our voices, especially as
Yes.
entertainers, where we have platforms. So, really the goal is to infuse entertainment with Black culture in general, and also make some of these issues that's not so fun more relatable to our audience here.
I love it. Let me tell you, that is everything. Um, I know that is very, it's hard based on where we're at in the culture with the temperament of the politics and things like that, what's happening, for people to really kind of dive in. But the way that you're able to have put together these, these, not only combine these platforms, but combine these voices to be able to make it educational, but yet understanding for the communities to be able to get involved. Keep doing your thing. I love it. Whatever way we can help as well, because that's, any type of initiative we're here. Call us up, listen, we'll collaborate in a sense. I love that. um Now what we've been waiting for is the music. You have recently dropped, okay, and this, I listened to this at least 5 to 6 times because I live in different, I listen to different different temperaments, if that makes sense. So from production, from the lyrics to, the writing to, just the music, the arrangement, all sorts of things. So Destined for Greatness.
Mhm.
When I tell you, this is very much so affirmation,
Yeah.
manifesting, just kind of spoken word to yourself in a sense of just really how you're moving. I want you to really talk about you leading this EP, and especially the lead track, Spiritual War. Oh,
Yeah.
break that down.
Yeah.
I what did you creating this EP teach you the most about your
Man.
creativity or yourself?
Yeah, this EP, man, is powerful not only for the people that listen to it, it was really powerful for me because this was not planned. You know what I'm saying? So, what's today's date, man? The
May
first? Um,
1st.
right, May 1st. I want to say I started this project like maybe 2.5 weeks ago, like the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was very, very spontaneous. So, this is why I feel like this is very great for me because it was full creation on spontaneous mode. I was joking around with someone who is very, very, very boss-like, right? And we were having a conversation about making sales with our businesses, and she mentioned I want to make 10K this week. So I said, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make 10K this week. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking, right? Um, the next day. So this is how I got into music. I make affirmation songs for myself, and I've been doing this for like 2 or 3 years, where I just make tracks where it's just me speaking affirmations, just so I can get my own vibe. You know what I'm saying? I like to create my own vibe so I can be, you know,
Yep.
I program my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, right. I created a track which was called 10K Week, which is on the
Yep.
on the EP. I went on YouTube. I just downloaded the track. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't something I was gonna put out. It was just something I was just flowing over. It's a real simple track, real simple information, affirmation, but obviously, it's got a dope sound to it, right? So dropped the song the next day, and the song ended up getting played, in her circle, and it got dope. Like it got some dope reviews, and like, all right, you know what I'm saying, let me go ahead and, I'm saying, see what I can do with it, right? So I went on the producer's YouTube, and I downloaded another track that was Spiritual War, the beat for that. And I was like, all right, the last track was kind of just affirmation track. Let me see what I can actually kind of put together. And I wanted to make sure I put something on track that was very beneficial, you know what I'm saying, for the world, right? and spiritual war just came through me. I don't believe that anything comes from us. I really believe that God, is the source of creativity. So, all the words are what He wanted to say. You know what I'm saying on that track, right? Once I did the second track, I looked up like the rules for like what an EP would be. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I might as well just drop me like a little EP or something. You know what I mean? Do a full project. I'm gonna do two, at least two, like 3 or 4 songs. So it's like 10 minutes on Apple Music that you need, and then at least 3 or 4 songs. So I went and bought the tracks from the producer, and bought the rights and whatnot, and I figured out how to self distribute, which I put on all
On the
platforms.
platforms, yes.
You know what I'm saying? I did the cover art, that type of deal. So, I mean, everything that was on the project was self-produced for myself. It was self-produced in the house.
You better come on, producer. Get your publishings and get your
Right,
rights and do everything. You
right,
get
right.
your coin.
I edited the tracks, myself. I wrote the tracks myself, produced them myself, and distributed them myself. And now we have the project, and it's a comprehensive project of motivational songs to uplift people, really feel good and get to a vibe, but also to enlighten people, about what's going on, especially spiritual war. Spiritual war is more like a wake up call to everyone that we are operating in a war of unseen forces. You know what I'm saying? Whether
Yeah.
that's demonic or angelic. And I think a lot of people are really kind of unaware of that, and how they navigate day to day. But I'm very aware, and I wanted to put that on the track. And I hope that people can resonate with the message in the way that I was able to write it.
Yes. What you said. Now, what is your most favorite track, or maybe least favorite track that would you say that you have
Uh,
on the EP?
yeah, my favorite
Somebody
track.
have one.
My favorite track is "Spiritual."
Okay.
Easily. And but also I really like Manifest though, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, Manifest is really dope. It's a different vibe than all the rest of the tracks on here. But I'm a huge manifester. You know what I mean? A lot of people in the spiritual communities hate the word manifest. Depending on what your, what type of
Right.
background you grow on. But
Right.
I stand on who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fully confident in my own abilities and my own spiritual gifts. And I believe that we have the power to naturally align ourselves with what God has for us, to bring things to fruition. Not my power, but just aligning my thoughts and my own spiritual energy with what God has for the earth. And so that song is a really like a clear declaration of what I want to experience. I am a magnet for major success. Infinite blessings. I opened up the treasure chest. You gotta speak it. So that is what that song is about. It's a feel good song. It's got like a '90s old school type of vibe. That's kind of what I was going for.
Yes. That was gonna be my next point.
You know, I love the '90s music. Especially like Tribe Called Quest. Q-Tip's one of my favorite rappers. That type of vibe. So to kind of be able to get on the track and do something like that was dope.
Now, is this gonna grow into maybe, you doing a part two, or possibly bringing it, since you're such this conglomerate, possibly bringing in other artists or spoken word artists that be able to go and be able to do this. You kind of put your like DJ Khaled hat on for a second, and then just featuring other instrumental talent in spoken word for another, like, more affirmations.
And let me tell you, man, this is all happening like kind of fast for me. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you're trying to process
Right,
it. Like, I'm just trying to
right,
process
right. That's right. More so on the music side, like, obviously we're kind of full blown in other areas. So my mind was already kind of set on like doing big things and film and entertainment. But the music aspect has kind of opened up a different door for me. I really wasn't like, again, I wasn't planning this. So I didn't have like aspirations of being the biggest singer or
it.
rapper or
Right.
anything like that,
Understood.
launching a rap career. But I'm very big on if I put it out there, whatever it is, it's got to be, it gotta have a certain look and feel to it.
Right.
At this point in your career, you know what I'm saying? So um, I'm seeing the reception of people. I think that's really what I wanted to see. Was how people were going to gravitate. I was really nervous actually putting it out, like very nervous. I prayed about it.
Listen,
Very,
they
very.
say do it scared.
That's right. You have to. There's so many, man, I can't tell you how many leaps of faith I've taken, you know what I'm saying, that were scary,
Mhm.
terrifying, and again, entertainment, you're putting yourself out there in major ways. So,
Yes.
doing the EP was very one vulnerable, two scary because it's a new realm, but also exciting because I've been able to see a lot of positive reception. So many people who have come to me and said that they like the tracks, that it feels good to them. I've had people give me real breakdowns of the songs, which is dope to see. You know what I'm saying? And to hear people actually like download the full EP and really run through it and come back with their feedback. Whether it's good or bad, it's always good to hear. You know what I'm saying? Just that they even put the energy towards it. I did my first performance on Monday. I mean, like I said, it's moved really fast. So obviously we have the Lemert Park music series, so it's easy for me to put myself on stage. So I put myself on stage, and I just did it. And
Love
that was
it.
really huge for me because I mean I'm a performer, but performing as a musician is totally different. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yes.
Right. So I had to like I treated that like a movie role. Like, all right, I'm gonna play the greatest rapper today in his role on stage. I'm gonna just give it my all, right? So that's kind of how I treated the opportunity, and I just made it fun for myself instead of trying to make it nervous. So that's kind of how I look at it. And from there, once I did the performance, that kind of got me amped. Like, dang, I might, I might
Ooh,
have, right?
the
And
adrenaline is
then
pumping, huh?
right, right. And being able to talk to you, and I've gotten a couple other articles about the EP and some positive press and whatnot. So, I mean, the whole goal here is just to create a system of inspiration. We're also focused on building a music lineup too with our PR, 24/7 LC Entertainment. So we actually just added on an artist who's in here, Nerd. Neo Soul Nerd. She's a dope artist out here in Lemert Park. She performed in our first series here, the Lemert Park Music Series. And shout out to Dexter Kelly, who's on our roster, Ariana Ford, who's also a singer. Got some other people that we're gonna add. I can't name yet because they haven't come on board. But I like what like TDE is doing and bringing on
Yes.
dope artists that are resonating with our culture. Our goal here is to create a lineup of people that are authentic and really, really can speak to our truths in Black America. I'm not big on promoting the artists that are on the mainstream labels that their content is a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we really want to focus on real authenticity. So I want to create a compilation album with the people that I work with on you know, uh, our label. There you'll see some features and stuff like that with the people that are on our PR Entertainment label here. And going forward, I'm just going with the flow wherever God gosh for me. I really just go day to day. Like I plan, I have big visions, I visualize it, but I have no idea what this music is going to look like for me. And I'm just excited to see where it takes. If God decides to take me to Rolling Loud or something like that, if He wants me to do more albums, then He'll make it very loud and clear for me to do it.
Listen, because your steps are ordered by him.
Absolutely,
Okay. You
absolutely.
better believe it. If you had to use your EP as a soundtrack to one of your projects
Yeah.
or films, which project or film would that be?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you this. We have LA Undercover 2 coming out soon, which is you guys can go watch LA Undercover on Amazon. That spiritual war track will definitely be in LA Undercover 2.
Yes, come
Because
on, scene.
right. My character in that movie, he goes through a lot of battles, moral battles. So the spiritual war is a testament to overcoming battles. So I would say definitely Ellie Undercover, where uh, my character is battling good and bad. But he's trying to be his best self. He's a rookie cop. He's trying to prove himself. He really believes in himself, but he also has to go through these strong tests of morality. So I think Destined for Greatness could definitely speak to the Ellie Undercover series that we're doing.
Yeah. Yes. And once again, I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much just for providing your time to being in our space, to be able to talk about your new profound project. This is amazing. Guys, listen, for those who are in here, those who are going to listen to this, to run this back, make sure you are getting the EP. All right. Do not just stream it, download it, purchase it. It takes so much to be an independent artist, and this man is working,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
day a night. So please, it's amazing. I think that, and like I said, I just can't keep saying this with emphasis, for a Black man to really, really, really dive into our culture, to really say words that are very different, that it's very meaningful, to feed our spirits, to really feed our minds, to really understand it and still be relatable in be in a sense of, that others can really hear this and be like, wow, this is dope, right? And it's not saying or being trendy like everything else that's happening or whatever the deal is, right? Because you could have easily been like, yo, I'm trying to be Lil Wayne, or I'm trying to be, next Drake or something, or Kendrick Lamar. I don't know. You may still want to be able to do that. I don't know. But for what you have, it's definitely something that's totally, totally, that's out of this world. So I want to say, encourage you, keep going, keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
You are amazing. Before we get out of here though, and before we get into our closing, I want to do something really fun, really rapid, and it's called Script This. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna go like really quickly. I'm just gonna say a sentence and you're just gonna fill in the blank with the first thing that comes to your mind, right?
Yep.
So, all right. First scene in the movie of your life would show me.
I'm sorry, repeat that. Repeat
First
that.
scene in a movie of your life would show me.
Would show you overcoming every obstacle and coming out a king.
Mm, okay. All right. If you could write a role for yourself, you would be playing.
Man, a superhero. I want to play like a character like Blade. That might be
Oh,
more.
people want to be superheroes.
Hey, that's we don't get to play a lot of superheroes as black men,
You
So
right. I
you
take
know,
that back. You right. I
so
do
we
want to
have to
see
be able.
more. I definitely do want
Mm-mm.
to see more. Okay. And no film is complete without.
No film is complete without the right team behind you. I am nothing without the people that work with me.
Mm. If your journey had a soundtrack, the opening song would be.
Destined for greatness, which is on my
Hey,
EP.
you got the whole EP. That's what I was hoping. Plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. Yes. So in closing, you have just such an amazing impact. You have so much vision. You have a voice. The way that you are combining, the entertainment with the music, and then you're also activism
Yeah,
and being able to pull our Black voices up forward. And because also you worked with Kamala Harris,
yeah,
with the National Action Network.
right.
I do, before we get on, I do want you to talk about that, because that's so important. I need you to elaborate on that one.
Yeah, man. This I say like life's been moving kind of fast for me. It's been a lot of change that's been happening. I would say within the last year, I've never been a fan of like actually really diving into politics like that. You know what I'm saying? It becomes very draining.
And then some
I
people
know a
just
lot of
try to stay away from it. They just don't
but
want to touch it, regardless what you know or not. You don't know, whatever.
I was definitely that person. You know what I mean? But last year, I had an opportunity. I had a thought, that hey, maybe future down the line, I could see myself doing something in politics on a leadership scale, right? So that was just a passing thought in my mind. That came about February, right? And it wasn't something I was really entertaining like seriously, but it was just a thought. I started to even like watch more, debates on, that the presidents were doing as far as old debates, just to kind of learn more, learn more political language, start to educate myself a little bit more, as Biden was going through his process, right? And then he dropped out the race. Uh, so when Biden dropped out the race, obviously Kamala stepped up into his place, and when she stepped up into his place, I saw that as an opportunity. I knew that she was going to be looking for Black media to partner with, and whatnot, and I knew that we had the target audience that they would be looking for. So, long story short, what happened was we have a podcast studio out here called. Podcast studio out here, partnership, whatever, right? The podcast manager comes to me one day randomly. He says, "Hey, I've got some dope news. Kamala's campaign is going to be moving next door." I said, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, they're gonna meet next week. You know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. We got to meet with them tomorrow, whatever, to finalize it, whatever. And they're gonna be setting up shop to do like phone banking, that type of deal. It was a grassroots organization called OFA for CA, OFA CA for Kamala. It's a group that also worked alongside Obama on his campaign. That group ended up coming in to the studio in Beverly Hills there. So when that was presented to me, my light bulb went off in my head. I said, I would love to partner with them and be able to create a pitch. So it gave me an opportunity to create a pitch. I created a pitch deck for how we can actually, align our platform with the values that she was presenting, to get behind. And the age pitch up, and next thing you know, I was on a call with the OFACA team in Beverly Hills to do a kickoff celebration to kind of launch her campaign there. And once that happened, I was able to kind of get my foot in the door. So my first political event was the kickoff celebration for Kamala's campaign in Beverly Hills, and it was crazy. It was crazy. I've been in a lot of big rooms in life, you know what I'm saying? And this one felt very different. It was very small and intimate, but the people that were in the room were very big. I walked in the room with Secret Service in there, and Kamala's children were in there. You know what I'm saying? We had a few other people that were prominent. Senator Ben Allen was in there. So it was my first room that I was in where it was like very high up politically, and I ended up having to give a speech in the room, which was crazy for me, right? And so I connected with a lot of people there. So once I did that one, I got brought on to do the Leimert Park location as well. Two different dynamics of cultures there. So the Leimert Park location was very dope. I ended up connecting with a few local politicians here. Councilwoman Heather Hutt, who ended up winning as a black woman here for LA City Council. In that race, she was there speaking. I introduced her on stage, right? That means something, so I'll come back to that. So I connected with the head of the organization there in the Leimert Park location, and they really took a liking to me. And so what happened was I ended up going back to that location, actually doing some like phone banking, like really getting involved. I didn't want to just be involved in the
You said
action,
I'm gonna be hands down,
right?
back,
You
back
know,
everything.
I didn't want to, I thought that would be a bad look, so I really wanted to, make sure I just was putting in the work, right? So I was there doing some phone calls and whatnot, and one day I was there, and my advisor there, she came and tapped me on the shoulder. She said, "Hey, I've got damn, I'm going blank right now. What's her name? Hold on. I'm
I
gonna tell
got
you her name right
you.
now." All right, here you go. It was Diane Watson. So, Congresswoman Diane Watson is a major political figure here in California for California politics. She was one of the pioneers for black women here on the political scale. She ended up winning Congresswoman. So, anyways, she comes tap me on the shoulder. She says, "Yeah, Congresswoman Diane Watson. She just pulled up. I want you to go take a picture with her." So I said, "Bet, all right." You know what I'm saying? I go take the photo op, right? So I take the photo, I go sit back down. Maybe like 5 minutes later, I walk outside. She's on the corner. She's older. She's in her 90s, right? And she's standing there waiting for her ride. And I said, "Hey, you need some help?" Whatever. She don't know my ride's right there, right? So her ride pulls up, and I help her in her car. Her assistant, she hands me a card. She says, here's her card. It's got the official government seal on there. She said, "Yeah, no, this is my official number. Give me a call," right? So I said, "Bet." You know what I'm saying? I called her the next day. She didn't answer. Called Called her the next day after that, and she was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm busy right now. We'll talk." You know what I'm saying? It's coming soon, right? So I called her again, and then when I called her the next time, we scheduled a lunch date. So perseverance, right? So I called her again. We scheduled a lunch date. I picked a place, a random place. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of pick her brain, right? So I go pick her up at her house. Now I'm picking up Congresswoman at her house, right? It's crazy. So I get her from her house. I go pick a place called La Louisiane here in Los Angeles. It's a Creole place. We go sit there and have the lunch. And so I've been there several times, right? So in the restaurant, there's like two sections. There's a section that really a lot of people don't really sit on, and then there's like the main section of the restaurant. It's an older vibe, older black crowd type
Gotcha.
vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, I walked in. I talked to the server. I said, "Hey, where can we sit?" Oh, she said, "No, Congresswoman sit over there." You know what I'm saying? She had her own table. You know what I'm saying? Right. So
She
in
got
the
her
place that
own
nobody sits.
table.
Right. She
Okay.
had her table. So we go sit at her table. Right. And I sit down. She said, "Look at the wall." I look at the wall. She on the wall in pictures, right? Like old pictures, right? Because they had a few different politicians that had came here, and she was cool with the owners and everybody that was there. I said, "Damn, I picked the perfect place, huh?" You know what I'm saying? Like I picked your spot. She said, "Oh no, I've been here forever." You know what I'm saying, right? And she gave me her life story there about who she was, about what she overcame, and how she got into politics and how she rose up as a black woman in politics. And it was so inspiring. We talked over gumbo, right? And I walked her out the building. And as I was walking out, a woman came up to her, literally as I was walking out the door, and she was just praising her. She said, "Man, I just love what you've done for our community. I just love all that you've done." It was so inspiring to watch that happen in real time. You know what I mean? So I drove her back home. And she sits me on the couch and she says, "Yeah, so you want to get in politics? Okay, all right. So, first of all, I didn't really tell her that, right? She just, that was the next conversation. So she gave me, a little bit more details as far as what that involves and what that looked like. So to hear that was kind of more like okay, there's realness behind this and why these people do these things, and it gave me a real understanding of more so what politics is and why it's so important for the black community, and why we need to be able to come together and be able to educate ourselves in the way that we need to. These people that were once political figures and revolutionaries are becoming older, and there's a need for next generation leaders to rise up. So once that happened, a week later, again, I told you I introduced Councilwoman Heather Hutt to um, the kickoff celebration in Leimert. I'm sorry if I'm taking too much time. Do you need to go?
You're
All right, cool,
good.
cool. All right,
Listen,
bet.
you're good.
So this is what happened. A woman, I got a random phone call. I don't answer random phone calls. You know what I'm saying? So I let it go to voicemail. I got the voicemail. It says, "Hey, it's such and such. Yeah, Councilwoman Heather Hutt. She recommended you. We have a summit with the National Action Network next week. Somebody just dropped out. We need somebody to come talk about civic engagement. We're bringing out leaders from around the country. You know what I'm saying? Yada yada. Come sit down next week. Councilwoman recommended your name. Give me a call back." So I'm like, "Oh, I only met this woman one time, right?" So I'm like, "Okay, cool." You know what I'm saying? I guess, so I
Clearly, there
called her.
was an impression.
Right. So I called her, and she gave me the details and whatnot, and I got set up with the National Action Network to be a panelist on their Western Regional Summit, where their leaders of their different chapters were there to kind of see how they can engage with the community more. Obviously, like I said, most of the leaders that were in that space are older and they're trying to connect with the younger generation. So they brought me and a couple others, a younger dude from Louisiana who ran for, he was the youngest dude to run for Congress or senator there, and then another young lady who was doing some great things in the community here as well. So we were able to speak to them and engage with them. From there, I was invited to Al Sharpton's birthday party. Okay, so right. So it started getting crazier. And I started being in these rooms, and people really didn't look like me as far as my age, and that was very telling, of what was happening. So once that happened, um, I just started getting more opportunities to kind of involve myself with the community, and really get involved with some of the issues that we're facing, and really educate myself. So I partnered with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference of LA here, in several different capacities to do several different things. Some certain things I can't really talk about right now, but just being able to do things that are here, empowering our people. I wrote a book called Civic Empowerment, Citizens Guide to Effective Government Participation. And that's on Amazon right now. It's also an ebook that's on my site, 24/7 Live Culture. That's a powerful book that aligns, that teaches people how to access the government, how to access their government officials, how to speak the language, whether political parties, Democrats, Republicans, or whatnot, whatever you believe in, align with, how to form advocacy groups, how to advocate the right way, how to actually talk to your counsel, how to vote properly. So this book is really a breakdown for everyone to be able to operate from a basic standpoint and understand the political structures that we operate in, because this is important. We just went through an election and this is where I feel like I really got very serious about politics. I was at the Lamert Park location, and a young man walked in. He was 18, young black kid, and he walks in and he says, "Hey, is this a Trump celebration?" Being obnoxious, right? And I'm not a person that really reacts like that. So
Right.
I just sat him down. Like we sat him down and he said, all right, why do you feel like that? I'm saying, like, what's your thought process? I really don't care who you vote for. I'm saying, but it's just a matter of why do you think that way, and why would you come in obnoxious like that, right? So he was like, he said, I just think he's funny. I'm saying, I think he's just, a funny guy, whatever. I really don't care, that type of deal, right? So what that told me was, one, we're still out of touch with the younger generations. That we're losing a lot of votes because certain people don't understand what they're really voting for.
Yeah.
They don't really even want to be involved with politics. It's like something that's very foreign, and it's more of a political show for people. And then especially when you have Gen Z. Gen Z is on their own timing right now. So I really took that upon myself, that I had to do something to try and bridge the gap between age groups and try to teach my people and lead my people in a way that could show them. I know it's not very fun, you know what I'm saying, but this is extremely important and this is affecting our lives. And I won't get into too much of the political decisions that are going on, but every decision is based on how we vote.
So true. So true. Um, First of all, it's needed. It's
Sure.
needed. Let's keep going. And, like I said, any initiative that, our platforms can combine. I know we're in New York. I know sometimes we're out in LA as well. Like any initiative, in whatever projects that you may have, we're definitely here to support as well. Before we get out of here, I, always ask this the same question, because I think every journey is different. Every path is different. You have to walk your own path.
Yeah.
What words of encouragement would you offer to the creative who may be just starting out, or who may be in a stuck place and just don't know how to maneuver, or to be able to get out of that rut or that creative block?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what are some words of encouragement you would be able to offer to those creatives?
I go through creative blocks every single day, every day. You know what I mean? So it's waking up and really just deciding I'm going to do it, whatever it is I'm going to do, right? But then also operating out of inspiration. And when you can't find that inspiration, go do something that does inspire you. Get out in nature, go take a walk, go work out, go do something that you like, go read a book. You know what I'm saying? Take your mind off of it so that you can get what you need, because if you sit there and try to force creation, you're going to be stressed. You're going to tire yourself out. You can really tire yourself out mentally, and that's
Mm.
real. Mental fatigue definitely exists.
Burnout is real.
It's very real. I went through months where I was trying to just write something on the paper, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you're gonna get it right, but you fight through it. So everyone goes through it. Every single person goes through it. No one's exempt from blockages. It's just how you navigate it. And really staying prayed up with God, because again, all source of creation comes from the Most High. So it's just praying that blockages away, praying that creativity just flows through you, that you can receive those messages. I'm a big journalist. I journal everything. I do this every day. I've been doing it online. Where people can go access that. Uh, One of them being a Rich with God collection here. This is a Rich with God journal here, where it says God provides as well.
Mm.
It's a
I know it
full.
shows it upside down, but we get
Oh,
it.
that shows upside down. My bad.
I don't know, like.
Yeah. I don't know if I can kind of change, but yeah, they can go get this. It's a journal that basically can manifest. Also created a journal for entrepreneurs. It's called the 90-Day Prayer Journal for Entrepreneurs. These are on Amazon, and these journals give you a prayer each day, and it also gives you journal entry and prompt for manifesting your business along with God. Uh, and
I
I
need to go get
also,
that myself.
you do. But I feel like the one that you really need to get is the Quantum Success Alignment Plan. This is something that I invented, and this book right here has truly transformed my life. And this is the process that I can equate to my success. If I have like a couple minutes, just kind of explain it. The Quantum Success Alignment Plan, I know it sounds very, kind of like futuristic, but for you manifestors out there, um, the Quantum Success Alignment Plan is a plan that aligns you with the highest version of yourself, and the most successful version of yourself, the most loving, the most abundant version of yourself, and to put yourself on the highest timeline. So, what you do is you think about yourself in the most far out version, because that's what God teaches us to do, is to see things from creation, see it done already, to speak it already done. So you have to picture yourself as 90 years old. What have you done? What have you accomplished? Who are you? Do you know who you are at 90? Do you know what you've accomplished? Do you know what you brought to the world? Do you know what type of relationship you've had? Do you know what type of community impact you want to do? Do you know what type of friendships you've had? So it's getting real clear about the type of life that you want and designing it from that standpoint of the end result. So what I did for myself was I designed an end result for myself of what I wanted to come to Earth to do. And I hold that vision, right? So from there, I create 7 categories that are kind of central to your life, whether it's love and romance, business, career, community impact, family relationships, social, different categories, right? And you take that and you break it down into 7 days. Each day is focused on a category. So Monday might be love, right? So I take that journal entry and I write it from a standpoint of the future of my love relationship. So it might be, thank you, God, for giving me another blessed day. I'm so thankful for Jesus for dying for my sins. Today I woke up to my beautiful wife again, next to the sunset, woo, woo, woo. She got up and made such an amazing meal. I love waking up to meals that she cooked. She made chicken. It was so amazing. Our kids enjoyed the meals too. We have such full detail, you know what I'm saying, as a futuristic scene, because when you write it out, that's all creating subconscious alignment for you. And obviously, you write it out, God can see that too. So you write it out in detail, and then on the next page, I write affirmations that align with that vision. So the affirmations might say, I am so thankful and happy to be married to the love of my life. I'll write 10 different affirmations that align with that. Love and romance, and you can do that for each version, even your career. So like the next day might be career. Man, thank you, God. Today I just won the Oscar. The crowd was amazing. I love seeing everybody in the crowd. I love seeing my family. I love seeing my friends sitting in the seats. I love seeing the crowd of war. People love my film. You got to be detailed about it, right? And those affirmations align with that too. Once that journal entry is done, I go into meditation, and I meditate for about 10 minutes. And I visualize the scene that I just created in full detail. I feel it, I speak it, I embody myself. I do little things in the scene uh, like drink something so I can taste it, so activate your senses. I hear, I talk to people that are in my scene. I shake people's hands, so I can feel things. I pick certain things up. I activate all 5 senses within my meditation as if I'm playing the scene, as if it's a real scene. And I feel it, to entirety. It's not just something I'm looking at. I fully immerse myself in the scene. And then once that comes out, I pray on it. I get go into my daily prayer, whatnot. Pray on that scene, and I pray on my day and what I want to experience, whatnot. Give God the glory. Your regular prayers and whatnot. And then I affirm myself. Mirror work. Mirror work works. You got to stare yourself in the mirror and affirm yourself what you want to experience. So I affirm myself. That relates to that. And then the most important part is the embodiment of the character. You have to play the character. So I play the character of who I'm destined to be already. It's you see a physical version of who I am right now, but in my mind, I'm already that of who I am. So my daily actions reflect the version of who I want to be, even if it's just small steps. Like, let's say, all right, you want to win an Oscar. Well, what does a person that wins an Oscar do? You know what I'm saying? So you
Mhm.
have to look at that and say, okay, this person does this daily. Okay, what am I not doing that that person does? Am I not in classes? Am I not doing this? And this, we live in a universe, you know what I'm saying, ultimately, right? And, there's obviously God, but the universe still has rules that operate within the system. So it's learning to be able to navigate within the rules of the universe. One of those rules is being energetically aligned with the things that you're trying to manifest and bring into fruition. If you're trying to manifest and bring forth things that are like major results, you know what I'm saying? You can't operate from a negative standpoint. You can't operate from a negative vibration and frequency. You can't speak bad on yourself. You can't be around people that are negative because that vibration doesn't exist. That manifestation doesn't exist at that level. Higher manifestations, higher results exist on a frequency of love, of confidence, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different. There's things on earth that you can't experience until you are a vibrational match for it, and that's real. People can pray all day, they can talk all day, until they mentally change themselves and spiritually align with what they want. It's not going to happen. It's going to repel. You're going to attract more of the negative more than you are the positive, and then you're going to continue to feel. That's how it works. That's why I mean you speak the universal language. Your actions and energy has to speak the universal language. So that's what this book is about. Quantum Success Alignment Plan. You can literally go through it and kind of see what it gives you. It gives you a full plan of everything. Full breakdown, even affirmations towards each of them, and then it
Yes.
gives you a full plan for each day. You know what I'm saying? It even gives you a prayer, all of that. So I really want you guys to go get that one. That's my most important book. I've got 26 books out right now. That's on Amazon and 247livecoach.com. Just go find those. Just things that can help your mindset. I just wanted to create things that were, self-help and, things that can help benefit people.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing everything. Listen, for those who are watching us back, make sure not only do he have music, he
Hey,
has books.
my
Okay, he
bad.
has films.
Go back. Last one, y'all.
What you got? What
Affirmations
you got?
books.
Oh,
We
you got
got
another one. Got it. Okay.
affirmations for millionaires, affirmations for business and life, and then affirmations for geniuses. Listen, you know, I fully believe that you can program your mind to do anything. So, it's more so a declaration to yourself of what you want. So, I fully am on the affirmation track, you know what I'm saying, of subliminal affirmations, programming your mind. It's like music. I mean, you're gonna listen to music all day, right? I love hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But most of hip hop culture is not pushing you in a positive direction, right? So it's the same thing. What are you putting into your ears daily, So I'm very focused on making sure that my mind is very aligned with what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing that can waver that, you know what I'm saying?
Hence on the success that you have and that you're going to keep going and getting. I love it. Omar Cook, thank you so much for definitely sitting with us and having this discussion. Guys, listen, for those who may be coming in, you missed it. But we're going to run this back though.
We definitely gonna run this back.
Run this back.
Yeah.
Go to our YouTube channel. Definitely make sure that you're following us. This full interview would definitely be there. So, guys, thank you so much once again just for tuning in with us. And to Mr. Omar Cook, please, I wish you nothing but God's ever blessing over you and that you continue in so much success in your
Absolutely.
journey.
Hey, no, I appreciate it. For everyone that will watch this interview, I thank you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys go to 24/7 Live Culture, tap in, subscribe. You guys can follow me at Omar Cook _ and I look forward to connecting with you all. And I wish everyone peace and blessings.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And you enjoy the rest of that LA weather.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All
Enjoy
right.
New
Have a
York
good
too.
one.
Have a
Thank
good one.
you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Amazing interview. All right. Once again, like I said, if you missed it, you got to circle back, okay? Go check out our platform. Go check out our YouTube channel. It will definitely be there. So we thank Mr. Omar Cook for coming through and let us know all of the endeavors that he have, all of the affirmations that he have, and that he's providing. Listen, this is for the culture. So guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another wonderful episode of Indie Talks. All right, I'm your host, Aisha Lewis Redway, and of course, my beautiful co-host Danielle could not be with us tonight, but hopefully she'll be back with us next week. All right, guys, you already know it's nothing but real music, real style, and real people. And for this, you know, it don't get no realer than this. So until next time.